Yes, very good afternoon to all my dear students. I hope you all are fit and fine and had a great weekend. So it's a Monday and again get back to the work. So please be online. I'm sharing the disclaimer and then we'll continue with the syllabus. So, guys, here we go with the disclaimer. It is hereby declared that the production of the said content is meant for non commercial, scholastic, and research purposes only. We admit that some of the content or the images provided in this channel's video may be obtained through the routine Google image searches, and few of them may be under copyright protection. Such usage is completely inadvertent. It is quite possible that we overlook to give full scholarly credit to the copyright owners. We believe that the non-commercial, only for educational use of the material may allow the video in question fall under fair use of such content. However, we honor the copyright holders' rights and the video shall be deleted from our channel in case of any such claim received by us or reported to us. So guys, how many of you have seen the video of Nepal as discussed in the last session? Guys, how many of you have seen that video of Nepal? Okay. Anyway, uh, today we are going to discuss about the standard deviation and variances. So for that, I am sharing one video with you. So you guys please watch this video, and then we'll continue with the topic. So for the better understanding, it's a calculative portion. So we'll show you one video, and then we'll continue with our topic. If you guys have already seen this video, then please let me know so I can go further. I'm changing the audio setting, so you are supposed to unmute yourself and speak up if you have seen this video. Okay.
Hello guys, welcome back to Commerce Buddy. So in this video, I am going to show you how to find out the expected return and the standard deviation of a single investment. So previously, I uploaded a video regarding the calculation of rate of return from this same topic. So I will put that video's link in the description box below, so you can also watch that video. So in this video, I am going to show you how to find out the expected return and the standard deviation. So this is the question. So return of a particular stock are given and probability also given. First, I am going to show you how to find out the expected return. So answers. First one is expected return. So I am going to rewrite these figures here. Return and probability. Returns are 0.4, 0.12 and 0.05. Probabilities are 0.15, 0.5 and 0.35. So the sum of probabilities will always 1. So 0.15 plus 0.5 plus 0.35 is equal to 1. So the probabilities of a stock is always will be 1. Now I am going to write the equation to find out the expected return. So the expected return is indicated as R bar. R bar is equal to expected return. So R bar is equal to sigma Ri into Pi. So what is this sigma and Ri into Pi? So I am going to tell you what is Ri into Pi. Ri into Pi means multiplying the concerned return with the probability. For example, 0.4 into 0.5, 0.12 into 0.5 like that. So that is called Ri into Pi. So sigma means after multiplying this concerned probability with the concerned return, we have to add all these Ri into Pi in order to find out the expected return. So I am going to show you that. So here I am going to draw another column, that is Ri into Pi, right? So the first return is 0.4 and the first probability is 0.15. So 0.15 4 into 0.15 is equal to 0.06. Next, there is 0.12 into 0.5. 0.12 into 0.5, that is equal to same answer, 0.06. Then 0.05 into 0.35. 0.05 into 0.35, that is equal to 0.0175. 0.0175. So these are the RI into PI. We find out the concerned RI into PI. Now we have to add all these RI into PI in order to find out the expected return. That is this symbol called sigma. Sigma means we have to add all these RI into PI. So first 0.06 plus 0.06 plus 0.0175, that is equal to expected return, that is R bar is equal to 0.1375. We got the answer 0.1375. So we find out the expected return in the decimal form. So if you want to find out the expected return in the percentage, we have to multiply this expected return with the 100. I will show you that. 0.1375 into 100, that is equal to 13.75% is the expected return of this stock. So here we are taking the expected return as in the decimal form because we have to find out the standard deviation also. So I hope you guys understand to find out the expected return. Here the return and the probability are given in the decimal form. So the equation to find out the expected return is that sigma Ri into Pi. So what is Ri into Pi means we have to multiply the concerned return with the concerned probability. That is 0.4 into 0.15 like that. So we find out to all the Ri into Pi. Then we have to add all these Ri into Pi in order to find out the expected return, and we find out the expected return here. Now we have to calculate the standard deviation. This is really important, standard deviation. Standard deviation. So the equation to find out the standard deviation is that, so this symbol is indicate standard deviation and R bar indicate expected return. So this symbol indicates standard deviation. So standard deviation is equal to root of sigma in the bracket capital R minus R bar, that is expected return, bracket close, in the square root into Pi. Here also there is Ri. So standard deviation is equal to sigma in the bracket Ri minus R bar in the square into Pi. So this is the equation to find out the standard deviation. So I will show you how to find out the standard deviation. So first of all, we have to find out the value of Ri minus R bar square into Pi. So Ri minus R bar in the square into Pi. So what is this Ri and Pi means? The first return and first probability, that is 0.4 and 0.15. And the R bar we find out earlier, that is 0.1375. So I am going to find out the Ri minus R bar square into Pi. So in the bracket Ri, the first Ri is 0.4. So 0.4 minus R bar, that is expected return, is equal to 0.1375. So 0.1375 bracket close in the square root into Pi. Pi means the first probability, that is 0.15. That is equal to, I am going to show you how to calculate this figure. 0.4 minus 0.1375 is equal to 0.2625. So we have to find out the square root of this. So first press the multiplication symbol into, and then press the equal symbol, that is equal to 0.0689. 0.0689 into 0.15 into 0.15, that is equal to 0.01033 into is equal to 0.01033. So we find out the Ri minus R bar square into Pi. So how we find out this is that we have to minus the Ri from R bar. R bar means expected return. Ri is the first return, that is 0.4. So 0.4 minus 0.1375 is the expected return, and we have to find out the square of that, and we have to multiply the first probability, that is 0.15, and we get the answer 0.01033, right? Then like that, here we have to find out the second one, that is the second return is that 0.12. So the Ri is 0.12 minus expected return is same 0.1375 bracket, we have to find out the square root into the second probability is 0.5, right? So first I'm going to find out the value of this figure. So 0.12 minus 0.1375 is equal to negative 0.0175, right? And we have to find out the square root of this figure, so it will be positive. So how we find out the square root of this figure is that first we have to click the multiplication symbol, then we have to click the equal symbol. So 0.0030 is the value of Ri minus R bar square. So I am going to write that here, 0.00030. That's enough. Into 0.5 into 0.5, that is equal to 0.000153, right? So I'm going to write that here, 0.000153. That is enough. Now like that, we have to find out the last one, that is equal to Ri minus R bar square. Ri is the 0.05. 0.05 minus expected return is equal to 0.1375, that will be same, into square into probability is 0.35. 0.35. So first I'm going to find out the value in the bracket. So 0.05 minus 0.1375 is equal to negative 0.087. So we have to find out the square of this figure, then it will turn out into positive. So how we find out the square is that first we have to click the multiplication symbol into, then we have to click the equal symbol. So 0.00765. 0.00765, that's enough, into 0.35. 0.35. So the answer is 0.00267. That's enough. So we find out the Ri minus R bar square into Pi of all the concerned return and probability. So we find out this part of the equation, that is Ri minus R bar square into Pi. Now we have to add all these three figures. That is why it is called sigma. Sigma means we have to add all these Ri minus R bar square into Pi. So that is equal to 0.01033 plus 0.000153 plus 0.00267. That is equal to 0.01315. So 0.013153. But this figure will be in root, because in the equation we can see that this figure is shown in this root. Now we have to remove this square. So 0.013153, and we have to remove this root by clicking the root symbol in the calculator. So the answer is 0.11468. That's enough. So this is the standard deviation of this stock. So the equation to find out the standard deviation is that root of sigma Ri minus R bar.
Hi, I'm Prabhu Silvaraj. I have trained more than 75,000 students in the last 3 years. I'm taking 21 days free webinar on Indian stock market from Monday. Register with the below link.
Bar square into pi. And so this is how we find out the expected return and the standard deviation. So hope you guys understand to calculate the expected return and the standard deviation of a single investment. So thank you so much for watching this video. So if you find out that this video is helpful, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also tap the bell icon to get notification about all my new videos. So, and if you have any doubt regarding this portion, let me know in the comment section below. I will reply to you all. So thank you so much for watching this video.
Hello, dear students. In this video, I'm gonna tell you how to do the followings in Excel. We will make a portfolio of two stocks and calculate its
So guys, is it clear? Hello, can you hear me? Students, can you hear me? Okay, good. Here I'm not getting any sign of my voice, so that's why. Okay, so I think now the basics are clear to you. how to find out the covariance, or you can say the standard deviation. We'll move into that, but the topic is systematic risk and unsystematic risk. So for that, today again I will show you one video. That video is of 10 to 12 minutes. So please be online. This will be the final day for the video. From tomorrow, we'll start with the calculations. So please be online.
It undermines the writer's message, and the word choice is bland. Grammarly's cutting edge.
Welcome everyone. Watch the video till the end, and also if you are new to this channel, then you can subscribe us by clicking the bell icon. And today's topic is systematic risk versus unsystematic risk, which is a part of the valuations when you do for various companies in terms of what we call as discounted cash flow techniques or any other sort of techniques where such beta is used. So what exactly is the difference is what we are here to learn. Unsystematic will start with the unsystematic risk. This is the risk that is the degree of the uncertainty in any stage of life. For instance, while crossing the road, there is always a risk of getting a hit by a vehicle if precautionary measures are not undertaken. Similarly, in the area of the investment and finance and various other risks exist, and since the hard-earned money of the individuals and firms are invoked in the cycle. So in this tutorial, we shall be focusing on the difference between the systematic and the unsystematic risk. Now, these risks are inevitable in any kind of the financial decisions according, and one should be equipped to handle them in case of any they occur further. Okay, we'll start with systematic risk. So risk does not have any specific definition, but it is inherent risk existing in the stock market. These risks are applicable to all the sectors, but can be controlled. If there's an announcement or in an event which impacts the stock market, a consistent reaction will flow in which the systematic risk will work. Like, for example, if the government bonds, let's talk about government bonds only here. Let's say if the government bonds is offering the yield of 5% in comparison to the stock market, which offers a closely around, let's say, 10%. Let's take this percentage. Then suddenly the government announces an additional tax burden of, let's say, closely around 1% on the stock market transaction. So this will be a systematic risk impacting all the stocks and may take the government bonds more attractive. What is unsystematic risk? So when we are talking about this kind of risk, it is an industry or firm specific threat in each kind of investment. So it is also known as the specific risk, or it is also known as the diversifiable risk or residual risk. So these are the risks which are existing but are unplanned and occur at any point in causing the widespread disruption. For example, if the staff of the airline industry goes in on an indefinite strike, then this will cause a risk of to share of the airline industry in foreign price of the stock impacting the industry. So one should keep in mind the formula, something like this. The total risk is equal to your SR, that is your systematic risk, and your unsystematic USR risk. See, the above risk cannot be avoided, but the impact can be limited with the help of the diversification of the shares into different sectors for balancing the negative effects. Let's understand this with the help of the infographics to have a detailed eye view on this. We start with the meaning. Systematic risk or threat associated with the market, the segment as a whole, while USR is the hazard associated with a specific security, firm, or industry. How is the impact on the large number of the securities in the market, SR, and USR restricted to the specific company in terms of the specific exposure? Controllability cannot be controlled. This can be controlled with the help of the diversifiability. Hedging. Diversification of the portfolio will do the hedging, and here allocation of assets will help us to do the hedging. What are the types? Interest risk, market risk, and here the financial and the business specific risk that is controllable. What are the responsible factors? Internal can be controlled, external is difficult to control. This cannot be avoided. So this is something that you have to bear. This can be avoided. So it can be resolved with a quicker pace. So let me make you understand what is the systematic risk. Though this is the risk that highlights the possibility of the collapse of the entire financial system or the stock market, causing a catastrophic impact on the entire system in the country. So it refers to the risk caused by the financial system instability or potentially catastrophic or idiosyncratic events to the interlinkages and other interdependencies in the overall market. So let us consider some example to clearly understand this. Let's say there's a guy called Mr. A. Okay, what does Mr. A does? Mr. A has made a portfolio constituting 500 shares of a media company and the 500 corporate bonds. Now, 500 government, 500 shares. This is shares part. 500 CB corporate bonds. Just writing 500. Again, he possesses 500 as the government bonds. Okay. A recent interest, let's say recent interest cut has been announced by the central bank, due to which Mr. A wants to reconsider the impact on his portfolio and how he can rework around it. So given the beta of the portfolio on, let's say, 2, let's consider it as 2. Okay, it is assumed that the portfolio will return in fluctuating 2 times more than the market return. So if the market spikes up by 3%, the portfolio will increase by 3 into 2%. That's 6. So on the other hand, if the market falls by 3%, the overall portfolio will decrease by 6%. Right. So according to Mr. Will A have to lower the exposure of the stocks, perhaps increase the what we call as the asset allocation. Right. So asset allocation will be a primary thing here. So the asset allocation can be considered as 250 of media firm. You can consider as 250 here, 500 corporate bonds as it is, and 750 as government bonds. So this may seem to be defensive mode, but municipal bonds and perhaps the most secure in terms of the default offering stable structure. So generally, the investors who are risk averse will preferably prefer a portfolio or a beta less than 1, so that they may incur lower losses in case of the sharp market decline. On the other hand, the risk takers prefers securities. Okay, securities with the higher betas aiming for the higher return. Now, the source of these kind of systematic risks, what can be the possible sources for this? Let's try and understand this. There may be political source, or the political instability, or the government decision having widespread impact, or probably economic crashes and recession, changes in taxation laws can be again one of the reason. Natural disaster, this also can be one. Foreign investment policy, this also can be one of the reason. So systematic risks are difficult and to be mitigated, since they are inherent in the nature and not necessarily controlled by the individual or a group. So there is no well-defined method for handling such risks. But as an investor, one can consider diversification into various securities to perhaps reduce the impact of the idiosyncratic situations causing a ripple effect to such risk. Oh, what about the USR? Well, also known as the diversifiable or the non-systematic risk, it is a threat related to a specific security or the portfolio of the security. So investors constructs these diversifiability portfolio for allocating risk over the various classes of the assets. Let us consider an example to clear this understanding. Let's say on March 2016, Matthew invests 50,000 in diversifiable portfolio, which invest 50% in stocks. Let's say 50% in stocks 20% in the IT industry, and balance, let's say, of the 30%, okay, in the stock of the airline industry or the airline companies. So on February 28th, let's say value of the portfolio is enhanced to 57,500, and thereby bringing the growth of 57,500 minus 50,000 into 100, which comes around 15% as the growth. So one fine day, he gets to know that one of the airline company has defaulted on the employee salary, the payments due to which the employees are on the strike, and the other airlines are expected to follow the same tactic. So the investor is worried. And he says one option to be considered is Mr. Matthew is to either hold on the investments with the expectation of the issue getting resolved, or he can divert those funds to other sectors experiencing stability, or maybe divert them in the bonds investments. So some of the other examples of the unsystematic risks are, you can say, change in the regulation impacting one industry, the entry of, let's say, a new competitor, a firm forced to recall one of its product. That also can be one. For example, Galaxy Note 7 phone was recalled by Samsung due to the battery turning flammable. So a company exposed to made financial statements can also, for Satyam Computers funding their balance sheets and employ the union tactic for the senior management to meet the demands. So the existence of the unsystematic risk means the owner of a company security is at the risk of the adverse changes in the value of those securities due to risk caused by organizations, and the diversification is one of the options to reduce the impact, but will still remain the subject to unsystematic risk that impacts the market as a whole. So more is the diversification, lower will be the residual risks in the overall position. So unsystematic risk it is measured and managed through the implementation of various risk management tools. Well, including the derivative market, investors can be aware of such risk, but various known unknown types of the risk can crop up at any time, and thereby increasing the level of the uncertainty. Well, apart from this, I think what we are over here to discuss is a few of the important points of SR and USR. Well, let us understand. See, systematic risk is the probability of a loss associated with the entire market of the segment, whereas the unsystematic risk is associated with the specific industry or the segment. Okay, systematic risk is controllable. Okay, and this is not controllable. Systematic risk is uncontrollable, and this is a controllable risk, which is restricted in a particular section. So unsystematic risk are caused due to the internal factors that can be controlled or reduced in a relatively short span of time. Systematic risks affects the large number of companies or large number of securities in the market due to widespread impact, and such interest rate decreases by the central bank of the country, whereas unsystematic risk is affected by the stock or securities of a particular workers. Divide into three categories: interest rate, purchasing power parity theory, or market direction. While into only two parts: business risk and the financial risk. So all of this, let me finally make my conclusion. Any kind of investment will have an inherent risk associated with it, which cannot be avoided. Systematic risk or unsystematic risk. They both highlight these factors which have to be accepted while making any kind of investments. So these risks do not have any specific definition, but it will be part of any. Through both the systematic and unsystematic, and periodically rebalance their portfolio, diversify the investment so that if any catastrophic event takes place, they invest in case of the positive announcement. Topic. If you have learned and enjoyed watching this video, please like, comment on this video, and subscribe.
From the next session, we'll start with our calculative portion for the day. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy your day. Take care.